Hey everyone, Chris Sawyer here. The VARIETAL Show is back. I am in a very special place with a very special person right now. And I want to let you guys know that, sometimes we don't talk about what year or what period of time this is, but I want you to know that I am on the celebrity cruise ship right now, which is the new Apex. So if you guys look that up, you'll know exactly what year it is. But this is going to be a priceless video right now because I'm with a very special person, Daniel East, who is an entertainer that, you come across great people, and I do in the wine industry and the food industry for so many years. And I think a lot of you out there know that I'm a big music fan. And let me just say this. We're going to trace it back to another little thing that you can kind of think about where we're at. This thing called COVID, okay? So COVID happened, and this man and I were standing in line together to get on this ship, which is the new ship at this point. And we're trying to get our results back from the, are we negative or positive? We were both negative. That's why we're sitting here together today. But the fact was, I noticed something about this man that was very interesting. He had a great guitar with him, and he had this little man right here with him. And this little man will make a difference to you as soon as you hear a little bit more about it. But why was I on this ship? Well, Grgich Hills, the great winery of Napa Valley, one of the greatest producers, as far as the legacy of Napa Valley and America in general. When you get back into Mike Grgich and his legacy of really starting the 1976 Paris tasting with the Chardonnay that he developed for Chateau Montelena, and then starting his own winery with Austin Hope and the amazing Hills brothers family. So Austin Hills, right here. This bottle meant a lot to him to make. He just didn't know he was going to make it yet. And this bottle of the opulence Grgich Hills Estate is made just for this cruise line. So that's what's wonderful about it. That's why I was getting on this ship. This man, on the other hand, was getting on this ship to be the performer of specialty music. So tell us a little bit about the performances you did here and your love for an amazing character that I could not identify this character. Who is this character in my hand? Who is this character, Daniel?
So firstly, this little man here is called Ned. He is part of my show.
Ned, N-E-D.
Ned Beeran, relation to, of course, Ed Sheeran, who, do we need to explain who Ed Sheeran is? The guy with the guitar, the ginger guy. So my job is to dress up as Ed Sheeran. I perform a tribute act, and I'm very grateful to travel the world, and that's how I met Chris, which is pretty cool if you ask me.
I agree 100%. We've had some fun together on aboard this boat, but I watched his performance today, and the wonderful thing is we became buds last night in more detail because I shared fine wines with him, and we had an amazing experience at Le Petit Chef, which is something beyond belief. Were you blown away by that food and by that concept? If you know anything about the celebrity cruises, these high-end cruise ships have something very special, and I got to treat my family to this some years ago when I did a great cruise with Costco Travel, and this one is Costco Travel once again for me on my behalf. But we got to come on here, and one of the things too, my relationship with John Lasseter and Ratatouille and that great movie and all these kinds of things that we do. This restaurant is where the figures on the table are creating your dishes. This is how crazy it was. Did it blow you away?
It was definitely an experience. Yeah. It was crazy. It was like, it wasn't even real, was it?
It wasn't even real. It wasn't even
tastes
real,
good.
but it tasted good, and so do these wines.
Very nice.
Now, what I loved about it today is I saw a different part of you. You walk on stage, you've got a little carrot top on your head, and everyone thinks he is Ed. And you bring this doll on stage, and you do pick up your guitar, and he's amazing. But today, you did a different one in the club here, and this is my favorite part, was really learning a little bit about how did anyone find out that this guy was the man. And tell everyone a little bit about your history. And like, the fact was, he wasn't in this business of music making until less than 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a different story, of course. So growing up, I played football, soccer in the UK. So I am from Cheshire, and yeah, in school I would never dream of singing in front of anybody because I was quite shy growing up. So I signed professional soccer. I was a goalkeeper at Brighton and Hove Albion, who are in the Premier League. I was there for 2 years. Things didn't go to plan, so I needed to find a new job, and I actually went on karaoke, and a few of my friends were like, not bad, you know, you should maybe give it a go. And then, you know, things happen and it became a job, and it's brought me here today, which is kind of cool, really cool.
It's really cool. And your performance today, you did a lot of covers. I mean, like, you did a little Neil Diamond, you did some really, the Sinatra stuff that he was doing was like magic. Little Elvis.
Yeah,
and
why not?
Solid.
Why not?
Whoever found him deserves a lot of credit, because, I mean, being a soccer player that's kind of going like this to a musician that's going like this, and to be really honest, the theater performances you did today, you did a few. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I come on the ship to perform the Ed Sheeran tribute, which is different to this look. I wear a ginger wig, and I then walk around the ship and nobody speaks to me because they don't know who I am, which is funny.
Except
and
I spotted him.
there you go, because of the doll. There we go. But yeah, so then today I performed the show as myself, which is different to the Ed Sheeran, because it gets to show off who I really am and what I like, and I tell the story throughout the songs and why I'm singing certain songs. And yeah, it got a good response today, I think. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, the place was packed. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you guys, and people are packed inside this place. We had to sit at the bar, which wasn't bad. Great cocktails on here. You couldn't see us. You really couldn't. We were waving at you. We thought you totally saw us. So
no, honestly, no. Well,
so that was just magic. Like, you were doing that, and we didn't even know that you weren't looking at us.
No idea. When you're on stage, the lights are in your eyes. If the person on the front row walked past now and said, "Well done," I wouldn't recognise them for sitting on the front row. I wouldn't know. You're lost in the music. You're lost on. No, you don't know who's watching. Anyone could have been watching, and you're just so focused on the performance and what you're going to say next, and obviously you do feed off the response of the crowd. If it's a nice response, I appreciate that, of course. So yeah, I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, yeah. But you definitely knew I was there last night, and that's when we got to taste some great wine, 2013 vintage, from a little bit of a collection that I brought onto the ship on behalf of Grgich Hills. And I love this winery so much. Mike Grgich and Austin Hills is, they started this winery in 1977, and it's as solid as you get. Family members running it, great vineyards that they own, which is very different than a lot of people in Napa Valley. They control their own destiny. And believe me, the luncheon that I did just before I came to see you was fantastic today. And it was just a really interesting experience. You got to taste some of the Grgich wines last night, especially with that filet mignon, that 2013.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Very nice. For me personally, I'm not a massive wine drinker, and I think meeting you might have maybe changed that a little bit.
I might have changed him.
And I must say that this glass is now empty.
I know. That's why we're going to taste another one real quick. But, just as far as really what got you into Ed Sheeran, like, of all people, like, you weren't really, like, you weren't a choir singer, which
Not
is
at
like,
all. Yeah.
and the guy's voice is amazing, you guys.
Thanks.
We're sitting here at the back of the ship. Behind us right there is the ocean. You can't see it that well because of the blur, but there's a great bar behind us and a restaurant called Eden. And this is a Michelin star. In the calling for the Michelin star right now. It's amazing. We're in a place that's very special. You're here, but you started how?
Yeah, so when I started singing, so after the karaoke, shall we say, I started then getting a few just pub gigs, in a bar, in a restaurant, whoever would invite me to sing at their place, basically. And I approached a few agents. Thank you, sir.
You got it.
Very nice. Look at that.
Approached a few agents. Let me put you back on play.
Yes.
Okay.
I approached a few agents, and just to say, can you get me work? Can you get me gigs? This is what I do. And a chap got back to me. A chap? Do we say a chap?
We do.
In
We
US?
do.
Chap,
In
fella,
the U.S., it does pass.
gentleman,
Yeah.
a gentleman, everything. He said, "Why don't you do an Ed Sheeran tribute?" And I'll be honest, I had no idea what that even meant. No idea. And he said, you know, get yourself a ginger wig. I play the loop pedal, which Ed Sheeran does as well, and the signature guitars, which were the Martin guitars at the time, which are excellent. And he just said, "Why don't you give it a go? You know, you'll get paid double." So obviously, I'm like, "Yeah, come on. You know, I need the money. I'm a young guy trying to make something of it." Didn't think it'd get this big. No way. You know, I started off in the pubs and the bars, like I said, on not the best money, but it was okay. And then it became a thing. Agents were then approaching me to say, you know, "You're quite good. Can you do this hotel? Can you do this wedding? Can you do this?" And I'm like, yeah, definitely. And then February 2017, my agent Tracy, she said, "Can you perform on the cruise ship?" Of course, yeah, why not? And that's then become a thing, and now I'm on my first celebrity cruise, hopefully the first of many.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And yeah, the show today and the Ed Sheeran show the other night went down really well, so
Yeah.
positive.
Well, that's funny you would bring up 2017 of all the times, because that's the vintage on this one. So this is the amazing Miljenko selection, and this is the Rutherford selection from Mike Grgich Miljenko in Croatian, the fine gentleman that came over to bless us all in the 1950s, which is a really interesting thing that he came over here before the whole Renaissance really started in California and in American wines. Back then, there just wasn't much going on here in America. A lot of people drank spirits and beer. Wine, if you drank it, was really more sweet. And it took him to do something that was very, very important, and that was the Chateau Montelena label that he made, the Chardonnay that won the Paris tasting in 1976. Amazing man, still alive, still doing well, and he's in his late 90s, and I'll say this right now, it's a great tribute to what wine can do for you. You can live a long time if you drink fine wines, and he is the man that helped stylize wines from this point on. This is a great selection from Rutherford, which is from their estate vineyard. All their wines are estate vineyard. I got to share the 2013 Estate Cabernet with you last night. This is actually a vineyard designate just from Rutherford, and that's from where their winery is actually based. And so when I get him amazing gigs, which I'm going to do because this man rocks, not only just rocks, but his voice it's priceless. So believe me, you guys, you're gonna want to listen to this guy. And he might be on theater, and you might see him on TV sometimes, and this and that. But I've already got him right here on video. Bing. You know, this is another great star from America that really did make a difference for us, and we got to give a lot of credit to the great Mike Grgich. 2018 vintage in this case, as it moved on. And this is Napa Valley Rutherford. Rutherford is known for the Rutherford Dust Society, and I've always got to give them credits for everything that they do. But this is actually just from the estate, all certified organic, wonderful stuff. We had an amazing time last night. The food last night was so good, but you know, this has a very good connection to that 2013 vintage that we had. It's all estate grown fruit. And the other part of it that a lot of people don't know about Mike and the legacy of that was one vineyard that they started, and we don't have right here in front of us, but it is the Yountville vineyard that they have, and that's part of the selection portfolio too. And I'll say this about that vineyard, and I got to share it with people today before your amazing performance, and when I was doing my luncheon with the chef and the great sommelier staff here, and my group from, of course, the great Costco Travels, was that vineyard is so special, and people drive by it, but they don't really look at it, and they don't stop their cars and take pictures of it, but they probably should be. One of the reasons is it's right there as you just pass the last turn to Yountville. It's the one right by R&D, and you can like just go past that, and you know Dominus is behind there, but you can never see it. But this vineyard was planted in not this one, but the Yountville vineyard was planted in 1959, and it has the Inglenook clone, which is a clone where you take cuttings of the vines and you start propagating them, and you go like that tastes good. I need to get more of that. We're going to teach England more about this, and their sparkling wines right now are the bomb, you guys.
Nice.
But this is like kind of legacy of the Cabernet. 1952 Inglenook cutting that was put there, and it was dying. And to be really honest, Mike Grgich and his family purchased this property. They came back and they actually did a great job of restoring this. Evo, the winemaker, and everyone that really got into organics and biodynamics, and it is certified organic, brought this vineyard back to life, and it is producing some of the finest fruit out there in Napa Valley. And people drive by it all the time, and guess what that clone is called? It is the Nebom Coppola Clone 29 of Cabernet. So a lot of people go like, oh, Clone 29. Oh my God, that's the name of the highway that you pass it on. It's true.
Meant to be.
So that's amazing, huh? Highway 29, Clone 29, amazing Grgich wines. You know, you and I have had a great time. We probably will have more fine beverages in a little while, because we got a couple more days on this boat together. We've had an amazing experience. I mean, I got to say a lot for Celebrity Cruises, and thank them for inviting us, both of us, and I'm glad to be representing Grgich Hills. They had a problem where they couldn't put the person on this boat, and I said yes, and I'm just glad to be their first selection, and as far as coming here. But I get to meet people like this, and this person is a star in the making, and a star that I believe in, because I just watched him and he's just amazing. So, you know, that's great. You know, what's the next step here? What do you need to come to America more often and just hang out with us?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, fly me over, pay me to sing, and I'll be there.
Yeah,
why not?
You live near Manchester now,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
And him and I need to talk a little bit more about New Order, because he doesn't know enough about New Order yet, and I need to really. Or Happy Mondays, if anyone ever heard of that band. We need to get more into this, but for the time being, I want you to know this is the man. This is Daniel East, and how can they get a hold of you? How can they look up some stuff? I know you've got a good Instagram page, but how can they look you up?
Yeah, I do have, you know, all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, my website is probably my main baby, DanielEastMusic.co.uk. I am on there. There's plenty of videos on there if you want to watch. Check them out. There's a mixture, a bit of Ed Sheeran, a bit of musical theatre, and yeah, hopefully you like the videos. And if you do, let me know. And you know, I'm happy to come over. I'll be coming over. I'd love to come over.
I want him to come over more often. I like hanging out with him, and he's an
man.
amazing performer. I think you guys will all really get into his mojo, because he just has a magic voice, and I just. Wow, stop me in my tracks, like, wow, this guy is amazing. And there's certain things that do that, and we're lucky to be on this ship. The other thing I did want to say about the Grgich wines, Opulence is made for this ship. It's made for this cruise line, and by the great people that run, you know, the highest people of the Celebrity Cruises help make this wine. I mean, come on, that's amazing. I did a great, thing. It was a staff training yesterday. And you know, for this crew, and they were so receptive, and it's just wonderful to talk about Napa Valley and California and the legacy of American wines when you're on a cruise in the Caribbean. You know, there's something about that just sounds right. You know, don't you think?
Yeah.
And you get to perform your amazing songs on the same cruise, and we're the besties now.
Well, we are. It's like a pinch me moment. You know, it's like things. We met because my COVID test came back late.
Yeah, no, that's a crazy thing.
I was in the queue for
I was
90
pissed that
minutes.
mine didn't come back earlier, and his came back after mine.
And, we won't go there.
But are we here today together?
But you wouldn't have seen me in the queue, and you know, I know you only said, what's that? You know, and then you said, yep, you'll give me a ring, and you know, you did, and I appreciate that.
I will say one story real quick. So I was looking for him on this ship, so like he seemed like super identifiable.
That's funny.
But it's a big ship, and there's a lot of restaurants on this ship. And I went to this one guy. I oh God, that's Daniel right there. And I said, hey, Daniel. And the guy's like, I'm not Daniel.
Was he handsome?
Not as handsome as you.
All right.
No
Okay.
way.
Well.
No way. But the guy was, okay, that was
Oops.
I was losing already. And then number 2 was a guy in our group for Grgich Hills. His name's Jared. Awesome dude. He was in the shop with me, and he's all, hey man, how you doing? He's got his mask on. His hair was flatter than it usually is, because it's usually whoop. And I was talking to Jared. I'm like, oh dude, so great to see you. I can't wait to take you out to dinner. And he's like looking at me like, it was like a weird pickup line or something. It was going the wrong way. And I realized when he mentioned his fiance, that I was actually totally off on that. It was once again not Daniel.
Not me.
And yet I picked up the phone on the boat, the ship. This is definitely a ship, not a boat. And I called Daniel, and he actually answered. That was amazing. Wasn't that a miracle? Like,
if I'd have
crazy,
known,
you guys.
if I'd have known it was you ringing, I wouldn't have answered.
Yeah, but hey,
I'm only playing.
we're having fun times. He's already done. I'm teaching him well, obviously, you guys. And the fact is that Grgich Hills was a great experience for him. It's a great experience for me. This boat and the new
Ship.
Apex. Thank you. God, I need this, man. The Apex ship is the newest line for celebrity cruises, and this is really something special for both of us. And I hope you guys can join in on the fun at some point. The last cruise that I did was on the Edge, and the Edge was the predecessor to the Apex. And I'll tell you right now, this ship is the same experience, except it's got some little perks that are all over the place here. I love them both, and they are cutting edge. I mean, bringing my family on here for their first cruises ever, this is setting the bar. It's like a very high bar. I feel great about that, actually. I really do. And we're going to go have some more fun, are we not?
Let's do it. Yeah,
Let's
sounds
do it.
good.
Cheerios, you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Here.
Cheers.
Thanks once again for joining the Varietal Show with Chris Sawyer and this amazing man, Daniel East.
Ned.
Hey, we're besties for life, and this is going to happen. And don't forget this man, because he brought us together.
He did. He's a legend. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wink. Boom.